All right, guys, good morning. It's a bit of a dreary looking day, but it hopefully won't rain today. I've had enough of the mud. But you can see everybody's crowded around here, and what they're waiting for is breakfast sprouts. Except for Pencil Neck there that wants to lay an egg behind the dog crate, which is what she likes to do. So what's breakfast sprouts? Well, some of you might have seen my old video on fodder systems that I built out of a bucket. And I found the ducks vastly prefer sprouted sunflower seeds. So that's what this system does. So these seeds are being soaked in water. And they were put in yesterday. So today they'll get dumped into this bucket right here. These two buckets will move down, and this will be 2 days of growth, 1 day of growth, new batch soaking. And then this one here will be the soaked batch moved to here. That's how I keep them in order. And, you know, that weighs a lot more than it did before I sprouted it. There's a lot more feed there for them. But the real test is, how much do they like it? Well, let's go see the morning melee. Duck ducks! Duck ducks! Reposition the camera here. You can see the there it is. Let's get back and see. Hey Max, how you doing, buddy? Joe the goose. Buddy's not with him. I think she's gone to sitting, so we'll see how many of her eggs are still viable if she stays sitting. These guys are eating some leftover feed from last night's feeding, but you can see almost everybody else is pretty hot on these sunflower seeds. It's like white piranha with feathers. And it's one way we help cut the feed bill. You know, you can get a 40-pound bag of sunflower seeds for 19 bucks. It's 50 cents a pound. But they increase in weight by about 4 times that. So you're down to like 12.5 cents a pound for these things. And any sprout is really a superfood. It's great for the ducks. They definitely like it better than barley fodder. It's more common, easier to get, and they like it better than the fodder, so might as well give it to them. There you go. Breakfast sprouts with the ducks. There probably won't be much left very long from now. Let's see. I didn't take long. There's a few in this one. What's here, guys? Wiped out. So let's go see what other progress has been made. Last video I did, I had put in a water line, but I hadn't closed the ditch up yet. So that next day I went ahead and closed that ditch up. You can still see the ditch line here. Rain came and melted all the dirt in pretty good for me, so some grass to regrow on it. We'll be in pretty good shape. And I got a lot more done. I'll show you in just a second. But let's go check on our broody girls. We got a couple other ones here that want to go broody on us. But you can see how they immediately like move. All right, so she doesn't want to move. She's got her eggs underneath her. Same with her girl here. See the feathers here though? That girl right there is probably thinking about it. Let's see if we can say hello to everybody, girl. Yeah. So they're sitting solid. I expect in I guess about 25 more days, based on a 35-day gestation period for muscovies. We should have some little peepers peeping around here for you. And the big move is probably coming Thursday now. The geese are going to go to Mansfield on Thursday, so maybe Friday is when we'll have the big move. But these girls are going to stay right here. They'll be nice and peaceful and alone. You can see we've been giving them feed so they don't have to leave their nest, and we bring water in for them only during the day so the other ducks don't make a mess out of it. You can see these guys are getting the nature's call to go broody themselves. That's why they're still hanging around here. Let's show you the rest of the progress before we wrap up today's episode. So, the geese have no clue there while that giant pile's there. That's all the deep litter I wrecked out of the chicken coop yesterday. That was a pretty disgusting and big job. But you see now, that's where I brought that water line to, but they've got sprinklers now. So we got sprinklers all the way down here. This is what we did during our workshop with a bunch of listeners and viewers to the podcast, all the way down to here. Got a hose bib. So now I've got water right to where the ducks will be. There's their new digs. And each of these valves turns on a zone of irrigation. So we'll now be able to grow grapes on that fence and trees on the other side of it with irrigation. Can't irrigate the whole property, but we can select zones where we want to establish plantings that stabilize the whole property. Off we go. Of course, I'm not going to turn this one on because that'll hit the camera. That one's right there. That'll be the intern hazing. Go turn the left side on. Unless you do this, you're going to get it in the face. Up here is our existing fence. You can see the water goes all the way to the end now. There's 3 zones. You can see that little micro swale. Let's go take a look at it and see what's going on there. We'll see if Buddy's in her goose house while we're at it. Let's see. She might attack the camera. It'd be kind of cute if she did. You in there, Buddy? No, she's not in there. I wonder where she's at. Huh. Yeah, we'll find her later. She hasn't gone. No, she's out with Joe now. She's out there in the field. She probably wasn't there till just now. Decided to get up and get a breakfast treat. Anyway, this is a micro swale. It's only about 6 inches deep. It is on contour, which all swales are, or they're not really swales. And it runs all the way to the fence there. And these plants right here are Rosa rugosa. They're an old English cottage rose, planted a foot apart. You can see they're just starting to bud out there. They produce great hips, and when they grow in, I mean, if you get a look at the thorns on these things, when they grow into a hedge, you're not going to have anybody wanting to go through that hedge. We'll probably put some Rosa Sharon behind them just for prettiness and for attracting hummingbirds. And out here in front, I'm thinking we may put in 5 or 6 Nanking cherries, because that'll just really set everything off and look great. And the irrigation water comes out to about here, or about there, when you turn it on, maybe a little further. So we go just a couple feet in front of the ditch. There'll be plenty of irrigation. We'll just sheet mulch and spot areas for that. The reason we did this, there's this swale line. You can see the flags that go off. Probably can't see them, but there's a big clump of green right there. There's a contour line that runs right in front of this tree. It ends right where that flag is. So what we've done is we've set this up so that this swale, instead of overflowing downgrade this way, or overflowing through the berm this way somewhere along it, we've hooked the end. That'll push the water out this way, and we'll pack this. We just didn't get to it because it's all muddy right now. And the water from this swale will dump into that swale and go all the way out there a couple hundred feet. Now, if you look over here, there's a downspout right there. So what I'm going to do is put in something that's going to look like a little dry riverbed. Instead of making a big mud hole there, it's going to dump that downspout of water from all that roof catchment right there into this swale. The swale will take all that it can, hydrate it, downgrade into the landscape, give the roses that moisture, but whatever it can't handle, and any significant rain where it's exceeded, we'll go ahead and put a little bitty channel right there of a little bitty berm, real fencing up to the first rose so that I don't have roses all over my valve, and push that water out, spread it all the way out there. And that'll just make more efficient use of the water and help us rehab this pretty bad field over here where the ducks are about to spend their next month. Anyway, irrigation continues down the fence. This fence will soon be a grape trellis. I'm selecting grape varieties right now. And again, we can plant grapes on here. We can plant some small shrub layer out here. And then we can plant trees on the other side that will benefit from the irrigation. So even though we only have one little lined zone of irrigation, we get a lot of bang for our buck by using the edges, which is value the edges and the marginal permaculture principle. We've ended here for now. That valve will continue, and I'll be able to shut off the additional line of irrigation. So we're going to go out there all along that fence I've talked about before. We only have 4 sprinklers on there. We can go to 7, so we'll go 5, 6, 7. That'll do this whole thing here on that zone. The other end will split that way and that way. So there we go. We've made a lot of progress. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch up with you soon with another episode of the Duck Chronicles.